Here we go. Ciao, Roger. What's up?
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good,
How's
good,
everybody?
good. Hey guys, what's up? Today we have a super special guest. Hope you're like vibing with the energy, and I can see millions of portfolios already there. So super
Sweet.
nice. How's it going?
Cool. Good, good. Happy to be here. Share some
Thanks.
cool insights and info for people. Hopefully, they find it useful.
Oh well, I can bet on it. And thank you for being with us. Hey everybody. I one question they always like to ask is drop a line based on where are you based, in which part of the world, like which city you are at the moment. And we're gonna see like a bunch of stuff happening from pretty much everywhere, which is always cool. I'm in Barcelona, new house, new room, not super fancy, but it kind of does the job because I can sleep at least. And it's not that easy here in the city. And yeah, Berlin, India, Milano. Yeah, we have folks for pretty
Oh,
much
from all
everywhere.
over the place, right? Well, I'm in Irvine, California, so that's where I am at.
Yeah,
Uh,
before going live, we were discussing about coming, actually visiting the studio would be like a dream coming true. I was playing professionally Overwatch back then. So, I see
yeah,
Tracer and I'm like, oh my god, like the
yeah,
traditional fan, whatever. Brilliant.
yeah.
Look, would you like to give us maybe like a super short intro about
Yep,
what's your journey in games, how did it started, and what do you do right now, and then we can straight jump on it.
absolutely. So I started as a 3D artist in Mexico. I'm from Mexico, and I started working at an outsourcing studio there, and I worked with for about like 30 different projects there, and including Overwatch. That was one of our best projects there. Uh, I did Need for Speed, The Sims, Star Citizen, DC Universe Online, and a ton of stuff. Right. Then I switched to the UK and went to Splash Damage, where I had to work with on Gears of War Tactics. I was the outsource manager there. So now I switched from lead artist to outsource manager. And then a few years later, I moved over to Irvine, California, to Blizzard, one of my favorite companies of all time. And now I'm working on the Diablo project, and I'm the associate outsource director over there, handling all sorts of things. But that has been my journey. And I also hire not only regular artists, freelancers, but I also hire studios as well. So I look a ton of portfolios. A big part of my day is just looking at portfolios. So technically, I'm doing my job right now. so
Oh, yeah.
so
Please
it's good. Yeah.
don't send me the bill afterwards, otherwise it's gonna be kind of a mess for me. But
No worries, no worries. This is for free. And before I start, I also want to mention a little disclaimer that everything I say is just based on my experience throughout my whole career. It's not like standard Blizzard practice or anything like that. So yeah, if you think this is in some document in Blizzard, that's not the case. I just happen to work there, and this is my process and my personal opinions about what do I care about when I see portfolios, what do I care about when I hire people. As you know, in any place where people get hired, there's a lot of people who make those decisions, right? So I'm just going to focus right now on the portfolios.
cool, awesome, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for being with us. I guess that we can
No
get
problem.
started right now because I received quite a lot of folks willing to, being roasted. No, I'm joking, but
I try to not go full Gordon Ramsay here, so I'll try to be nice,
okay,
but
I
I'll
will
give
be.
you honest feedback, right?
Yeah, I will be, so for some extent, like sometimes people like kind of enjoy not enjoying being roasted, but it's funny, I mean, like the
I
intro.
enjoy to roast. When I was working in the studios, I roast my artists all the time with respect, right? With respect, but the
Of course.
roast is always funny and also is memorable. You remember that
Yeah,
roast, so it sticks with you. So you have to be good at it to don't come across as like nasty.
yeah. So you're safe today, guys. Like no super tough roast unless you ask it
Yeah,
specifically.
and I mean, if you, that's the other thing that I wanted to say. Like, don't take any critique of your work as personal, right? Because that's very easy to do. So just take it, separate from that. if you cannot take criticism of your work, you're in the wrong field. You need to change careers. So, but yeah, always with respect though.
Brilliant. Okay, to answer super fast two quick questions, we can share the portfolio in the comments. Yes, you can, but I already collected some people that sent it beforehand, so I have
Yeah.
some portfolios
And
already.
I haven't seen them, so this is gonna be live, my live reaction. So
Yes. First thing. Second thing, feel free if you have any questions regarding what's going on or whatever, like whatsoever, feel free to drop them in the chat. And at some point, we're gonna stop for a second and try to go through them. So feel free to shoot, guys. We are here for you. So without the command, let's go with the first. Oh no, I'm sharing. My gosh, I'm so bad at sharing stuff. How can I share? Holy, give me a second. You do the whole screen. Uh, uh, yeah, so this it's easier, I guess. Boom. Okay.
alrighty.
Can you see the first one? Juan
Yeah,
Gomez.
Juan Gomez. Cool. Alrighty.
Cool.
So first thing, good that it's in ArtStation. It's not that it has to be an ArtStation, but ArtStation is a very safe bet, especially when you're starting and you're not, you don't have a website or anything like that. ArtStation is a very easy to follow interface for me, so I usually review a lot. Okay, so one thing that I'm seeing here that is like really good is that Juan here labels himself as student. So that's very important because it sets the expectation to the person reviewing the work. If you had said, you know, uh, character artist or an environment artist, saying, well, I mean, this work looks like a student, right? So it kind of, you're not overselling yourself. So it's important for you to label yourself properly because then you set expectations. Uh, so here, level designer. So I got to say, we have a bunch of different things that are not level design. That's the first critique there. You have some props here too, which is important to have. But I would always tell people to focus on their main thing. Um, so if I'm going to say I'm a student level design, only show level design, right? And try to like let's see the first image. If you can click on that, please. There we go. Okay, I like this because it has like a description of what we're looking at here, which is important. Um, and we have some work here now. Okay, so these are very basic shapes. Sometimes is if you can scroll up to the just to see the description again, I just make sure I'm not going out of bounds.
Can you read?
Okay, robots. Yeah, robots movie. Okay. Okay, I like that you show your inspiration and your target. It's a little bit away from the target. I understand, at least from the style of it. And yeah, we can look at it here. One thing that is very important is to show scale of spaces. When you do environment design, you have to show scale. You have to show you have to. Yeah, I'm just looking at the thing. Um, yeah, scale is very important. It, right now, this space is very rudimentary. Like it's like very boxy, very basic. So and also I think it has like is this an Unreal? It has like the Unreal texture. It seems like one of those textures back there. It seems like it's the Unreal base texture. So watch out with that when using those base because it feels like the thing is not finished. It's not a finished piece. And I don't recommend showing pieces that are not finished unless you label them as work in progress. And so yeah, so the other thing that I want to mention about portfolios is that you really have to uh, make them with a purpose. So is the purpose to get a job? Is the purpose to show your work as a student? Which I think this one is like that, show your work as a student. So it's like, hey, here's what I'm doing, right? As a student, here's my project, and here's some few shots. I'm learning, uh, and that's fine, right? It's perfect, perfect. Whatever it is, work in progress, not a work in progress, whatever it is fine. So to me, this is like, I like that it has a variety on the work, but I wouldn't hire you to do any of this work for a production, even if it's like a double A, let alone a triple A, right? To me, this is like a student showing stuff, and it has a little video as well. Now here you can see the scale. They put in the character so you can see scale. Um, and so yeah, can we go back and maybe check another thing real quick?
Yeah, like this one,
Uh,
or
yeah, let's check the one with the middle, that glory of God. Yeah, let's see the church. I also did a church in Unreal, but it was a death match map.
like a little bit, right?
Unreal
Like
tournaments, us learning. Okay, so yeah, okay. So this has some texture work. That's what I wanted to see it. Can you zoom in and let's see the glass work.
a glass work. It's
Yeah, stained
here.
glass
Can I
in the
zoom
center.
somehow? Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
yeah,
Yeah, so here is here's I guess the difficulty here with presenting this is the lighting that I think is a sketch fab or something like that. It kind of looks very flat. So if you wanted to like present this, give this a better presentation, you would have to light it up and put it in a better, because the model itself seems like a good model. Like basically is like, for what it is not a, I wouldn't consider this like a top tier model, but it's a good exercise for a student to just have a good space and light it up and present it, right? If you're gonna be a level designer, a good thing to show is the mood of things, of a space. Level design is just not the structure, but it's also a bit of it of the mood, the story. Uh, I like this part is really good. So that you show your reference, you're showing your poly count, you're showing the wireframe. um, the only thing missing, I would say, here is like, I'll assume it is implied that this was a student project, right? So it's implied. But if this wasn't a student project, always put the purpose of what is this for VR, if this for mobile, because that also sets the expectations of the technical specs. So
yeah,
yeah, so I think we can move on to the another one. So I
yeah,
want to go through
yeah,
the
yeah.
most I can. But thank you, Juan,
Let's
for sharing.
thank you. One good one by being a student, by the way. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. Very good.
Here we got David,
Okay.
3D environment and prop artist.
All right. So
Watch out on the, this is my recruiter stuff. Watch out on double on the, yeah, here.
yeah,
Okay.
so I like the first, I like that has categories. So usually this is a very good thing for me. So if I'm looking for characters or I'm looking for props, environments, so I appreciate saving me the time to go through the categories, and like the other thing that I really like about this, at least this area here, before going into anything, is that you're labeling the the pieces or the collections by what they're from, what's the project. So I know very clearly that those two are from Silent Hill and these ones are from Awakening. Um, so that's also great to see, And the other, I guess, assume the one that doesn't have a label is just your exercise or something in Unreal. Might as well just also label those as like, personal projects to just like be more explicit. One thing that I don't like, could you click on that one of the Silent Hill ones? I just want to remember if, yeah, one of the things that I don't like about ArtStation, it doesn't let you categorize by projects. So,
Mm.
but David here did the right thing to put the labels on the thumbnails outside. So this is Silent Hill, so what can I say? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing to be I like that you show different on that image. You show different angles. You have even your images label. I know they make you do that, but that's a good practice. Where it's like, okay, Silent Hill. Here's the client. So even if they don't make you do that, is good practice. So if you're showing work that is professional, you can even, if the client is not as well known, you can put client so and so in your images. Is pretty good. Also explain what did you do in this exactly in this image. And sometimes you might want to credit other people if you're showing work that is like, oh, if you didn't do that car, for example, it's like, okay, if you know who did the car, or at least say you didn't do the car, or or list the things that you actually did.
Yeah.
So let's go back and see if there's, I just want to check the
Something else. Just let me have a super quick look at the chat. If yeah, you can see, guys. Like for a second, I was worrying that I was stop showing.
yeah.
Yeah,
No
like
worries.
always. Okay, good. Awesome. Which one would you like to
Yeah,
take a look
let's
at?
go for the first one. I really like also that all the pieces here are pretty, like at least in the thumbnail view, they're pretty even when it comes to quality or fidelity. They're kind of look in the same realm of level of, I would say, you know, video game, AAA, high budget video game work, right?
Yeah,
So
even the art
that's like,
style
it has
looks very.
consistency. Yeah, it has
Yeah.
consistency. So for an environment artist, which is a big part of their work, like making props that are consistent with that environment, super important. So here, this presentation, again, very good with the labeling the images as well. Uh, Amazing work, texture work, details, you know, grime and weathering. Uh, yeah, this, yeah, I would totally hire if I needed a environment prop artist. I would hire this. The woodwork. If you want a quality bar for woodwork, this you can use this as a quality bar. Very
Bravo,
good.
David.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, yeah, that's how you get a job at working on Silent Hill, right? Doing great texture work, and great use also of lighting these scenes as well. They really showcase the. That's another thing because that you kind of have to learn when you're making models and especially textures, that you need to also light them so they look good. In the previous example, we saw the church and it's completely flat. So it kind of is like very unflattering, even though it's flat. But here you enhance the models so much with good lighting. And there's plenty of tutorials out there. You don't have to be a master lighter, but at least a nice 3-point lighting, you can get very good results with minimal effort. And yeah, this stuff is AAA quality. Uh, that work, for example, right down there, I think he put in some references, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a, you got to be careful when putting references. Uh, I like that he separated the references into its own image and not put it in the same as the work, because sometimes it could be like I don't want to like, if someone took a picture and that's, I'm using that picture, I don't want to pretend, or I don't want to mislead people thinking that I took the picture, right? So it's good
Mm.
that he puts this in separate. It says these are my references, because any artist will know what's your reference. This is great because then I can see the reference, I can see the result. Like, this is where you were shooting for with the green box, and then here's the result, and I can match it, right? And I don't even need to see the references. I think he matched it from the little tiny thumbnail I can see there. I think he matched it. So yeah, this is again, you don't need to anything fancy more than ArtStation, StartStation, good enough, as long as you have the quality in the work and you show the experience. I would say this is a good portfolio. If you are a prop artist and you say, hey, Roger, I need an example of a good portfolio, I recommend this one. It has few pieces, but those pieces are very well made, very well thought out, and yeah, so good job.
Good
Good.
job.
Yeah.
Like doesn't happen every day to receive such a good compliment
All
from
right.
Blizzard Art Director. So bravissimo, bravo,
Cool. Next one, Pablo.
Pablo.
All
3D
right.
artist video.
Okay, so
Uh,
this 3D artist generalist, Germany. Okay. So okay, some good pieces. Let's start with the first one, the lady one, the scary lady one. Okay, so oh, okay, nice. You have so that's the other thing. When you do characters, it's good to give them a rig. A lot of people show just characters in T-pose, and that doesn't really help a lot because I need to know that you know how to at least make models for animation, right?
mhm.
Um, so at least having a rig and even though it's not the best animation walk cycle or anything, but at least it's like okay, I can see the knees bending. You rig the cloth. The feet, the joints articulate. Sometimes you can also even if you don't want to if you're not an animator, so I wouldn't expect much for this example, but it's a good example to have. You can also do like a T-pose with the rig model, and you just like kind of like move it, like move the arms up and down. You can have a video of that, just the character, yeah, bending the shoulder, looking at the shoulder, um, so you know that you did the proper amount of loops there, so it bends properly. Um, so yeah, this is good. The model itself, it's I would say I don't know how to say the level of quality. Uh, Basically, I put it. I wouldn't put this in Diablo 4, for example, right? It is kind of like the Vive, but you would need a lot of more practice, more experience to do more natural looking sculpts. And when I say natural, that I guess I mean no. That they're more realistic. You're going for a realistic look, and it looks a little bit uncanny valley type. If you guys know what that means, which is kind of like, although a witch scary lady will kind of look like that, uh, but it's a
Yeah,
good exercise, a good thing to have. I think like in your journey is a good thing to um, to have in your portfolio because you're on your way. I think if you keep at it, you keep practicing and doing more characters, you're in the way. Although you label yourself as a generalist, and I have a point about uh, being a generalist. I would it's good when you're starting out and when you want to just get experience on any job. You just want to get a job anywhere, doing video games or doing animation or movies. Uh, you it's okay to use that label, but I would say that, for example, here it seems like you have a lot of characters, so focus on focus on that. It's like aspiring 3D character artist, and you focus on pursuing that because I've seen a lot of people who worried about like pigeonholing themselves or typecasting themselves. And it's like, no, what if someone needs I do characters, but what if someone needs a house and I need a job? And it's like, well, yeah, and if you have this, I see this a lot with concept artists, but they have so many different assets and they're like a generalist, but they're none of them are like great. They're all kind of okay because they kind of spend too much time in a variety.
yeah,
So that is nobody's going to hire you if you have range and none of them are look that good. So I would say focus on if you're a car guy or if you're a motorcycle girl or you're a a building person, focus on that aspect, right? Like we saw before with David, uh, environment, right? Prop, target, right? And here's the thing: once you that will give you an easier time to get a job. And then and then they'll probably ask you, hey, I know you do characters, but can you do weapons, or you can do this other thing? And because they already work with you and they'll already trust you that you're very good at one thing, and they'll more likely switch to another thing. So this portfolio seems like, starting out, at least, yeah, I don't know, I'm just assuming by the looks of it. It's I like that you put they put the
Yeah.
wireframe and the textures. Now, here's the thing. I'm in the video game industry, um, and so when I look for wireframes, it's going to be optimized wireframes so they can run in real time, right? So maybe that's unfair critique here, because maybe he's going for movies, animation, stuff like that. But this mesh here is like for video games, that wouldn't work at all. It's too not optimized. So
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's to keep in mind. That's why I say it matters. What's the purpose of the portfolio? Is like, oh, instead of saying 3D generalist, you should say maybe 3D generalist for film, animation, or for video games or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, Either that there or in your bio or somewhere, to make it clear that it's like, yeah, I don't expect for you to think this is an optimized model. Can you look at Can you scroll down to? I want to
Yep.
see the map.
Here
Yeah,
or
yeah, 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 that one. Okay, cool. Concept. I like that they that's a good practice as well when you're a modeler, and you're probably not gonna. I recommend when you're a modeler and you need to model something, I recommend that you reach out to a concept artist and ask them if you can model their work for your portfolio and credit them, because then you have a really cool concept to do and you don't have to worry about, you know, learning how to do concept. Because if you, a lot of modelers, what they do is like they kind of create their own concept because kind of inspires you as your own thing, your own idea, but you're not the best at concept and design. So I would say when you're starting out, focus on the modeling, focus on the textures, focus on that area, um, one thing at a time. And if I'd rather just like hook up with ask a concept artist to say, hey, can I use your concept? Uh, and it will pick a really good one, so it motivates you. But yeah, I think that's what I have. Let's move on. Thank you,
brilliant. Okay,
Pablo.
cool. And you touched a very good point, which not I'm not talking about the art. I'm talking about the like positioning career wise.
Yeah,
This is one of the things that I've seen the most, which is especially people at the beginning addressing themselves with many job titles or many expertise. For
yeah.
example, I'm a game designer, but I can also do a little bit of production. So I'm also a producer, but I can also do some coding. So I'm kind of also a
It's good.
real.
Yeah, it's good to show. It's like I think it's called a T-shape, right? You have a main expertise, and then the other, I guess, the other line is just your secondary stuff that you're good at. And it's good to put that, like, I would say, in a CV or something, like the experience. What did you do? When you say I work on this project, okay, what did you do? I was like, and then you can say, well, mainly model. I've been in projects where I was the producer, I was making contracts, I was reviewing art. uh, in hiring people at the same time, right? So what was I there? I was three roles in one. So I'm gonna say, but I only was technically production manager, whatever was the actual role. But in my CV, I will explain, okay, this is all the stuff that I do, and then I know how to. So
That's a
it
good point. No,
helps a
but
lot.
what I meant was like related to the fact that the main title or the main thing that you did, I was a production manager. Like, he's
Yeah,
not production manager and 3D artist and recruiter and like, because
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah. You have
way,
to
especially
focus.
if I
Yeah,
never, yeah, you need to focus. Like the first
yeah,
thing, because if I'm looking for a production manager, awesome. I'm gonna look at you and say, hey, this is cool. I want to know more, and then I'm gonna read everything you did, which is complementary and it helps. But like positioning is very important, and even like in portfolios, but also when you apply, like if you want to go
yeah.
for a job as a producer, you are a producer, and then that you did some design, awesome. Let me know in the CV. But the first impression counts as a producer. So that's my take.
Oh, yeah,
My take. Okay, let me just quickly overview, guys. Do you have any questions?
yeah.
Let me super fast. Feel free to shoot if you have any. Pum, pum, pum. Doesn't look like many. So we can go on.
Alrighty.
Okay. Um, boom, boom. Next one, we got Scott.
Alrighty, Scott. Film and entertainment. See, it's like he has done work for the games, film, entertainment. So if I see something that is for a game, I'll be I have that context that okay, this mesh is optimized or not optimized. I like the labels. Let's look at the Slimer. I'm a fan of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So let's check it out. Okay, so this seems like it's for a film. Could you scroll down? Oh, that's real time. Can you click on the little stripes on the right?
Here?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, this is for film. Because you see the mesh, you can see the wireframe there. This is more like for an animation. Uh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, Marmoset is very cool, a cool tool to show your real-time assets. Although I would say it has plenty of HDRI images that you can load in and light up your asset in there, and it you don't even have to worry about knowing how to light anything because those images are already kind of tuned. So it saves you, yes, find those shortcuts. It's like you cannot be an expert on everything. The only thing that you need to do as an artist is just have understanding of the other disciplines. In the industry, everybody is like kind of like what we're saying. Everybody's kind of like expert on their own stuff, but we work a lot and there's a lot of overlap with the other disciplines, right? So
Yeah.
having understanding is important, but don't worry that you're not an expert on the other ones. Cool. Let's go back to the thumbnails.
Thumbnails. So yeah. Here.
Yeah, let's click on one of the shattered ones, maybe the second image from the top. Yeah. Alrighty. So,
Oops.
oh, that was a good one. Yeah. Yeah. So here I can see the wireframe. Uh, Usually when I see these, this one is not as well optimized. When I see that wireframe, it could be better optimized with the same results, especially since this stuff is blocky. Uh, so for example, in that piece, in that I think it's a peon. Oh, it's a bishop. Um, if you scroll up, uh, that one I would add more in the bottom one, in the corner, bottom corner, that one.
Yeah.
That one, I see this error everywhere, even in people who make cars. They distribute the vertices in evenly, but you need to distribute them more like when they are needed. So in this shape, they're more needed in the area that has, that is round and not so much in the area that is straight, right? So if you look at the wireframe above, it has a lot of, I think it has some loops there that are not needed. You can see there at the top. Yeah, you can see a lot of loops there that are not needed in the middle, and you can remove those and add those triangles to the areas that are rounder. So put your, we are, especially if you're on mobile, you need to make those triangles count for your shape. Right? So you have to distribute them where they're needed. I remember, when we got, sometimes we get triangle budgets, and I was very like, let's stick to those because that is important because if the game is in real time, if you're wasting resources, it'll lower the frame rate and the player will have a bad time. So the artist always want to add more, right?
Yeah.
So when
Of
so when
course.
they like I would review something and it's like, hey, this is out of budget, and I would tell them like, it's okay to go above budget for a little bit, but for every triangle you go over, you have to do 10 push-ups. And some of the artists were like, oh, and some of them did it, but most of them they said, okay, I just delete those 3 triangles and save myself 30 push-ups. But some they're like, no, they're needed, so I'm gonna do the push-ups.
Love
So
it.
anyway, yeah, okay. So this textures are so for example in this texture, I see a lot of areas where you can overlap more stuff to increase the resolution of the texture. Um, Not everything needs to be um, the same resolution. You can cheat and you can give more resolution to things uh, that are more important. For
Yeah.
example, the keyboard has a lot of detail, but some of the panels you can overlap and save that and make the keyboard larger. So this to me, this looks to me as a more newer beginner or but a good solid beginner. Cure the thing with the wheels, super low polygonal, but there are other areas where you can actually distribute the polygons to those wheels. So watch out for those. So yeah, I like that you're showing here the model and also the sort of the texture there, so we can see that. Um,
There are quite a lot as well.
yeah, it's quite yeah. You have a lot of experience in making a lot of stuff, but I think yeah, sometimes I would look into checking out like how to optimize models. I think you need a lot because the textures are decent. They're good level. Like for example, I like this box here.
Mm.
Uh, I would give it a 7 from 1 to 10. I would give it a 7. Um, but yeah, the optimization I would give you a 5 out of 10, for example. There's not a lot of good optimization. And also I'm not sure what is I guess the end if these are for a game or just for uh it probably is in there. I'm not blaming you, but yeah, it says Unity, so these are for real time. So yeah, especially for real time, you have to be very. People who started on the film and animation have a tough time transitioning because of all the restrictions that we have in video games. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, watch out for that. This one I just see it lacks a little variation in the color. The color looks flat, but if you look at a real leather, it has like tiny variations in color, which is what makes it look more realistic. Uh, but okay, yeah, this one is like it needs guidance. I'm glad that they have a lot of experience of not doing a lot of props and a lot of stuff, but I think they could do uh, improve in the textures and the optimization of the models. Yeah.
Is the main thing. All right. Shall
Alrighty.
we look at another one?
Let's look at another one.
Cameron Hickling, first non-art station art
On
of
our
one.
station. Okay, brave man.
Brave man.
Or I don't know when. I don't know. Okay, cool. So you got. I also have like my website, but I do kind of cheat because I embed our station. Uh,
Mm.
Although my stuff is like from ages ago, like maybe 10 years, because I stopped doing art a long time ago, so it doesn't have anything. Anyway, let's check out. So this it says environment artist. Okay, so let's check out an environment. Yeah, let's go for the first one. You always put your top thing, that the thing that you're most proud of, put it at the top, always at the top. Rank it, almost rank everything if you can. Sometimes you can because sometimes you put projects, but put this project. Okay, so here, can you go at the top? Just want to read a little quick. Okay, so here is a 3D Studio Max, ZBrush, Substance, Designer, Painter, Photoshop, Lit, and Unreal. So this is meant to be real time, I guess. Although nowadays in film they also use Unreal. So the first thing is like uh, the lighting doesn't help you a lot, and unfortunately for environment art, lighting is even more important than if you do characters or props. Characters and props you can get away with the 3-point lighting and you're done basically. But here you kind of have to, if you want to show, if the purpose is to show mood, then okay, kind of works. But I would say not ideal. I would give this a 6 out of 10 for mood. And if you're going for showing the space or the layout, this is like a 4 out of 10 because I don't understand much. It doesn't give me.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm disoriented. Where am I behind some bookcases, or is this like? It's kind of hard to follow. But it has potential. That's the only thing that I kind of like dark stuff like that. So has potential. Okay. I like the God race as they call him. Yeah, I think this one it might be my monitor, but it's too dark. Like I if you,
Yeah.
one thing is to show like in see-through, like in the game or in the space, and the other thing is like to show like for example, this one is a little bit better, like the one in the table. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I would light the table. The gun in the table is too, like it has light from behind and from the front, but the actual table with the gun is dark, right? So I think I would recommend taking a course in lighting and lighting up spaces. um, it will help you a ton because I think you have good sense of laying out stuff in a space, propping it out. um, but the lighting is kind of working against you. Um, and actually, lighting is super important, especially what for us for humans to perceive shapes, right? So here I like this stuff. I like this stuff. Like here are the props. Here's this is really cool that you have them here and you break it down. Yeah, you have the skills, but I think you can do. It would help a lot getting that lighting better to show your work better. And then here's the other thing: you get better lighting, and then it might be that you also need work on the textures because right now I'm not seeing like I'm not textures are kind of also hard to see. Um, but yeah, okay. So let's
Yeah.
go back and let's check.
Let me just for a second do something that may help. So we had a masterclass from a lighting artist from Larian
Nice.
here. So I then recommend watching this video if you have the chance because it's free and it's a 1 hour lighting art masterclass. So
Wow, that's great.
dropping link in the
Amazing.
comments.
Sweet.
Brilliant. All
All
right.
right. Let's see another asset like from them.
Boom,
Let's
boom, boom.
see. Let's see
Which
the one, the gas station, the last
gas
one.
station? Last one.
Yeah.
Old fashioned gas station. Cool.
Assets and services rendered in Unity. Okay, so this, yeah, so uh, this one is more like an exercise, and when you when you if you want an environment, you kind of have to make the full environment, or otherwise it looks unfinished. So more think about it like a diorama, right? So like maybe put a fence in there. Maybe you might need a skybox, even if it's night. You put a night sky, something there, because otherwise it looks like an unfinished product. And with your environment, you have to show that can finish a place that it looks finished is not a work in progress. To me, that this seems like a work in progress. Like I did a building and I put some stuff in there and call it a day, right? It doesn't seem like it's like this place is used. Where's the trash can? Where's the tire marks of the cars, right? Where's the stains, oil stains, all that stuff for an environment? You need to fill that in. Otherwise, to me, this is like a student work. You're learning and you're putting stuff in there. It looks very student. So just watch out for that.
Yeah.
Uh, but I like your layout of your website is very simple. Also, watch out for the images don't cut off your titles. Be very careful about that. Um,
We had the art station. Like it was
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
it's cool. But I do appreciate when people have their own website. I do appreciate that. I give them extra points, especially since it was easy to navigate. It's like
yeah.
as long as your website is the same or better to navigate than ArtStation, then it makes sense. If you don't have time to do that, don't don't bother with a website. Also,
Yeah.
if you have your portfolio on Instagram, don't do it. I mean, you can have it, but don't make me create an. I don't have an account on Instagram, so I'm not gonna go to Instagram and just to see your
That's
portfolio.
a solid
It's
advice.
okay to share with your friends or whatever, but for a professional, I rather not go to a place where I need to sign in. Right,
Yeah.
ArtStation, you don't need to sign in. Your own website actually gives you extra points of professionalism, especially if you have your own email address with your like little domain instead of Gmail or Hotmail. It gives you a little extra, you know, professional sheen. Obviously, what matters is the work, and we're going to hire for the work. I never not hire someone because they didn't have a personalized domain, right? So, anyway, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, let's move on. Maybe check
I
another one.
was all right. Give me a second. I'm gonna look for more. Meanwhile, let me have a look at the chat.
Yeah,
We
yeah. If
have a
there's
couple of
something, I
questions.
cannot see this chat by the way. So if you have any,
Oh
if you
yeah,
see
yeah, I
something
will.
that is there, let me know.
Yes. Question. For a Silent Hill prop artist, were there any areas of improvement you noticed?
Uh, I mean, if I, yeah, I mean the I from the texture standpoint and lighting standpoint and the mesh standpoint, I would just like gets done. I hate being ultra nitpicky on stuff. Where I did see is more the presentation where it wasn't clear, at least in the description, what did he do actually on that scene. There was a lot of stuff there. There was a car building, um, you know, light pole. Like, did he do everything, or it was just like just some parts? So that's what I remember mentioning. But like the props were like good. You know, you can always. With here's the thing with art. Art is never finished. It's abandoned. So you can always change something. You can always improve something. But in production, where you have deadlines and you have to ship a game, there's a point where you say it's good enough. It matches as long as the things are in the quality of the project. Don't don't keep messing with it. You know, just ship it. It's done. And the better you commit to finishing things. It's really good. You're gonna have a better time in production because I know artists. I'm an artist. You always want to improve everything. You always want to make things perfect. You're a perfectionist, right? But I noticed I also had to learn to like, yeah, I have to stop this right now. It's good enough. Especially if those props are just set dressing in a third person game, right? Third person game, first person game, there's a little bit of a difference there. First person game, you need a little bit more rest on what's in front of the player. Third person, you get away with more. So if I zoom in, right, it's like a game like Diablo, camera stop here. If I zoom in, you know, I cannot to give feedback on a mesh. It's like, dude, the model is like this in the screen, right? Why are you zooming in so much? You're just wasting time. Spend your time doing more stuff, right? So yeah, that to me, the like those Silent Hill props are good to go for the game. Good for shipping. Don't mess with them.
Brilliant. And all right, let's try to have another one. What would be a good balance of specialty titles to not go overboard, like you guys mentioned? I have a
I
strong
would say
opinion.
just have your main thing. You know, is
Yes.
yeah, this that's the main thing you want in your CV. You can showcase stuff, or your portfolio you can uh, put an area for other stuff. But I would say focus on your expertise, on your main thing, the best thing you're good at. Because like I said, like if I see someone who's spread out too much, it's like you're kind of mid on everything. So it's like, no, I want to hire someone who is very good at something, not someone who's so at everything, right? Because then if that person who is very good at something, it's a lot easier to say, okay, now, okay, you do very good cars. How well are you at doing motorcycles? You know, it's like then that once you're in, they can ask you to shift a little bit because now they know you have very high quality in one thing. But if I look at portfolio, I concept artists all the time. I tell them like, don't focus on a thing, and because this portfolio just looks mid basically, and I'm not. No one's gonna hire mid unless they're like, I mean, unless they're like low budget and very. and you're going in it for the experience rather than learning anything. So, but yeah,
I mean, perhaps there is an exception that I see, which is when you're joining a super small indie studio
yeah, yeah,
where,
yeah, yeah.
in that case, right, like they first they cannot afford to have like super experts like financially, but also in terms of like the amount of tasks that usually you have to do. From what I saw, they have to do a lot of stuff, and so
But
they
even then, I would say like, okay, focus on a few things, and they think, I think, as as someone hiring, if I was hiring on an indie, I'd rather see like, oh, this person does very good buildings, right? And my game has a ton of buildings,
yeah.
but I also have a lot of the props and furniture and stuff like that. So even though that person doesn't have anything like that, but they have very good buildings, I think they can do, if they apply that artistry that they apply to the buildings, I can guide them to apply that to another thing. Instead of me seeing, oh, this artist has a ton of furniture and buildings, but they'll mid. Yeah.
And
So it's like, nah, pass.
makes sense. All right, guys. Sorry, I didn't realize that basically if you were copy pasting the link, it gets automatically deleted. The portfolios that I received were uploaded on Playhire on the event, so it was very easy for me to simply showing them. So for the next time, guys, if we didn't manage, and we are not gonna manage to look at them all, please put them on the like comment in the event page. So I have the link there. I can simply copy paste and show them. We have 4 more, so we can try for a speed run if you're up for it.
Alrighty.
Let's give it a shot. Let me try to.
So another thing, real quick, while you're doing that, is anything I say is not a formula to get a job, right? It's
Mm,
like don't think there's a portfolio that if you set up your portfolio the way that will give you jobs, and it's like, no, it's not like that. These are just like your work is gonna be 95% of the work, and the other 5% is the little subtleties that I'm pointing out that might give you an edge over someone who did 94% and you're 95 because you had a little extra, a little detail here and there. So don't think that you don't stress about the presentation of a portfolio, the website. Stress more about the pieces, that the pieces are good, that they're optimized, that the textures look good, that the lighting is good. Focus on the images. At the end of the day, when I got hired, someone just hired me. I had my images on a forum, CG Society back in the day, and someone found me and it's like, hey, I'll send you a test. Do you want to work on an outsourcing studio here in Monterey? So I was like, okay. So it wasn't a fancy thing. It was, but nowadays there's more people out there. It's more competitive now, I would say, definitely. So that's the challenge. Uh, so yeah, focus on your images, on your
quality,
work.
the craft,
Yeah,
number
the
one.
craft. Focus on the craft.
Good. Let's super fast going through Emiliano from
Okay,
Argentina,
Emiliano.
3D artist.
Okay, cool. Let's open that night there.
Oh
This
wow.
is really cool, and I wonder if this is for real time or for animation, AAA, Souls. Yeah, I guess real time, right? Um, cool. It has a striking design, I would say. At first glance, it's striking, so that's good. I would say it's lacking on the material side of things. It looks very even on the colors, on the color palette, even though it is metal. But if you look at a photo of our actual armor, you'll see it has subtle variances of color. So you need to introduce that. Sometimes people cheat it and just put it on the lights, but don't do that. I think the lighting you have here is pretty good to showcase this. I think you did pretty good job at the lighting. Um, and also it's fantasy, so there's a lot of stuff that I would complain about. So for example, there in the legs, in the hips, those things probably would get. Think about when you do an armor set, is very especially metal. Think about the character in motion. uh that thing cannot move. That thing is a how do you say, museum piece. So watch out for that. But I mean, it's fantasy and it's an exercise. Can you go down to the wireframe?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this is, yeah, it looks fairly optimized. Yeah, it looks decent. It's not ideal, but it's like it's I would if an artist of mine came with me and said, "Oh, here's the model," I would say, "Okay, knock off another 1,000 triangles. You can knock off 100 triangles, and you wouldn't even notice visually." Um, but it's good. What else? It's kind of also think about, so for example, the strap. The sword is at the back, but he has the cape over it. Um, so that's kind of weird. How is that going to work in the game? Um, what else? Can you look at the maps? Lower in the lower, yeah. Okay, so I would recommend having those images bigger because I like to see the UV layouts when I'm looking at stuff. That one, the white one, very bad indeed. Very unoptimized. The white because it's like it has just strips there, and you're kind of wasting. When you do textures, you have to think about every pixel you're not using, every pixel that doesn't have any texture in there, you're wasting it. So that's why we overlap a lot of stuff and we try to reuse as much because that gives you higher resolution. A lot of times, and here you have like you have a ton of textures. So usually in video games, you only have 3. So this is like excessive 6. Unless it's a hero character, like the main character, then you have a ton of textures. But I would say like try to do the same thing that you're doing with only 3 textures. I think you can do it because the cape, for example, the cape and the white one, the cyan one and the white one can be in one texture, for example, and then you can do a lot of overlap and lower resolution of things, and you can get away with the same resolution with lower textures. And here's the thing: the most expensive thing in a video game is the textures for the thing to render.
Mm.
So the more you can save in textures, the better. And here's the other thing: the thing that makes your models look really shitty is the texture, lower resolution texture. So you can have the best model, very optimized, but you have very low resolution texture, it's not going to look good. Alrighty, let's look at another
Another one,
portfolio
yes.
if we're but good work. It's a good. I would say this is someone who's starting out and trying to get in there is a very decent
It's a
model.
good one.
Yeah,
Guys,
it has good potential.
quick announcement. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're starting out, so I will appreciate it a lot. Sorry for the promo, but I had to do it. Otherwise, I always forget about it. But if you can drop us up, it will be super, super appreciated. Okay.
Alrighty,
Next
so we
one.
got a prop artist, senior. Okay, so senior 3D artist. Where on? Okay, okay. So I'm gonna have to break your heart here because this is not a senior looking portfolio, right? To me, this looks, especially the bottom half or the 75% from the top to the bottom, it looks like student stuff. Maybe the best piece is at the top. So let's look at that. Um, okay, I would say this is um, it's good. It's I would say 8 out of 10. It looks real. The texture is good, but it needs a bit more of a. At least it needs more texture work. It needs a little bit of normal map work to, these weapons get dinged and dented, and have that use the weathered look helps a lot. It's very rare that you see a weapon that is pristine out of the box. This looks like kind of out of box, and I guess you can say that. But at least I would consider this like a staff level, mid-level artist, not a senior, junior to mid-level, not a senior, based on the texture work.
Yeah.
So Let's see one of the other ones real quick. Oh,
Milo.
okay, cool. So this one is okay. So this is like animation. Let's see here.
CDR.
3D artist, advertiser, design. So maybe it's gonna be stuff more for. Okay, no, it looks like they have. Is that a project? Max, is that like a project?
Should
Like
I
a
open
game?
one?
Yeah, open one of the with the one that says Max. Yeah.
This one, for example.
Yes. Oh, okay. So there was a class. Okay, it was a class for a academy. You okay? So this is very good, right? So this is student work, and it has nice presentation. Like you said, the lighting is kind of iffy, but maybe it's just like for so yeah, I would recommend. This is if you learn this at that school, it's good. It's good school. It's good. You're showing like rain, particles, uh, lighting in dark. Lighting in dark is hard. Not as hard as lighting daylight, but it's pretty good. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
this
it's
guy has good. Yeah, it's a good range. So I would say like start focusing, but uh, this stuff as a student looks decent. So if if I had like a junior role opening up, which I never have, I would consider this guy because it has a lot of uh, good
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 pieces.
range
Yeah.
and decent. They even though they're like student stuff, they look decent enough that so this environment is very very cool, very decent. Yeah, it's good texture work, good lighting. Maybe the camera's a little. Maybe that's. Oh, he's drunk, so that makes sense. There's like I was gonna say, it kind of looks like a little. But that's a good. It has a good story wise, right? Even that little like it looks like drunk. Wait a minute, pans down. Oh, it is drunk, right? So even in that little clip, he created a story. Huh? This is a guy who got drunk is on the tube, right? So it's very good. Good lighting. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
this is
solid.
very,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, very solid. Yeah, yeah,
GG Milo, bravo.
yeah.
And last
Love
one,
it.
super fast.
Yeah.
Samuel.
Okay. Samuel, character, 3D character,
Character.
creature, artist. Cool. So I like that you put yourself as a creature artist as well. So it's yeah, I would say it's on the borderline of being split, but I understand that labeling yourself as a creature artist is very very niche. So so character artist is good. I like this design a lot. It's like a creative and has a lot of texture, a lot of like with that armor set and the patterns. It looks kind of traditional, so it's good. Okay, so yeah, it looks that like they had someone else concept, so that's cool. That and then you can just focus on making the model look really cool, right? So has the process, very good. The only thing that I don't like about it is how it was lit. It looks kind of flat, but also it's in the middle of the day, so that's always kind of hard. Um, this seems more like for animation work, right? Not real time. Yeah, this is a render. So yeah, so since this is a render, it has renders. You can cheat a lot in renders, so they better look amazing, right? In the real time world, we can always complain about, oh, it's real time. It has to look amazing. I have to be performant. But in renders, this one I would give him a 6 out of 10 for the lighting. It doesn't. I don't think it does justice to the character design, and also the materials could do a lot of work. Everything looks like pristine, like it doesn't have that color variation, that weathering. It looks very plasticky. It looks more like a plastic statue than an actual creature in the wild. So that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, the other words are. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Or you want to take a look or?
Yeah, yeah, that one with the nose ring. Yeah, let's look at that. That looks really good. The thumbnail. Also, another tip is work your thumbnails. I know this is a character, but focus on an area of a thumbnail that it looks good, because thumbnails are little. Sometimes people put characters, the full body of the character in the thumbnail, and I cannot tell. When I'm looking at portfolios, I have like very few seconds to make a decision, right? I have ton of people
Yeah.
submitting stuff, especially when I'm hiring someone who's going to be staff. I have hundreds of applications. So if that thumbnail is not like showing me like something catchy, like this is a good example of something catchy. You know, you have the best part of the character in the thumbnail, so it's really good. Can you scroll down? Let's see the rest. Oh, it's just a portrait. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, for now the thing for portraits, like for it's very tough when you just show, like if you wanna if you wanna get a job at a studio doing characters, it's gonna be very hard with this because this is portrait, right? It's like unless you're just going for like a sort of like an illustration in 3D. So you kind of have to pick what is going to be your role in one of the projects, or if it's a video game or if it's an animation, and you kind of have to target your portfolio to show that role that you're having, because no one is gonna why am I gonna put a portrait of something, right, of someone in a movie or in an animation or in a game? Is only in the box cover, but that usually is someone for marketing, or a concept artist for marketing. So you kind of have to pick where's your, if you're using this as a showcase of your skills, that's cool. But if you're using it as a, I want a job and I want to work in a team, then you need to bring full models, working models for animation or for games, what we were seeing and texture layouts and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's the idea. Okay, but overall, like I feel like it's not so bad. So
Yeah, he has the good artistic eye. Yeah.
like pieces. Alrighty. So well, like really, really, I shotgunned you with stuff. Looks like you're used to it. You took me,
Yeah.
like to quote The Walking Dead. You took me like a champ, like Negan. I don't know if you had some
Yeah.
The Walking Dead fans here, but it was awesome. So thank you so much on
Yeah.
behalf.
Any questions or anything
Oh
before
yeah,
we
we have
start?
a couple more minutes for questions. Maybe this one can be quite useful for people. When we can understand as character artists when then we are ready to get a role in a studio. Hard question though.
When someone offers you a job, I would say just keep working on the characters. Look at the video games that you want, or movies that you want to work, and just match your models versus their models, put them side to side, and look at them and say, do they belong in the same, do they have the same quality, do they have the same aesthetics, uh, the same, they're optimized as well. That's when you're kind of like ready. But I would say, you know, shooting an application, sure, it's more time for me, but like you never know when someone says, well, I have a role that is not senior, but I have a mid-level. Maybe you're interested in that, and you were shooting for senior. So that's what I would say. Always just keep comparing to where your goal is and how far you are from it, and that's it.
Fab. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, no, I feel like we exhausted the questions. Brilliant. Like
Alrighty.
my man, like was fantastic.
Yeah,
Like
hopefully it was helpful.
100%. I would love to potentially in the future do another session as we had many people, willing to share theirs, but we
Yeah,
didn't manage to do them all. Maybe in the future we can organize another one.
for sure.
Roger, like you're a superhero, so thanks a
No,
lot.
thank you.
And
Thank you everyone for putting up with me for an hour.
no, it was really, really great. And thank you guys for joining us. As you see, we put quite a lot of events for October. So just take a look at Play Higher at the upcoming events. One thing that there is a news, we finally are starting to have jobs in the platform. So because we are starting to partner up with some companies and studios that are posting some high like focus jobs. So they're not ghost jobs, which is good.
Good.
So take a look at it and stay tuned, because you can basically now even apply from there finally. So thanks a lot, and Roger, thanks
Thank you,
again.
and everybody like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I
You
had the
don't forget,
influencer, like
Mirko.
whatever. Like, damn.
Alrighty, see everybody.
Brilliant. So ciao, ciao, guys. Ciao. Thank you. Bye.